Hey everybody, it's Robert coming to you with another adventure into history, and today I am down in Junction City, Georgia with my friend Mr. Mike Buckner, and we're going to take a look at this old store behind us. And Mike, tell me what this place is.
Well, originally the building was built as a show place for caskets and was the mortuary, the funeral home. And then after a few years of that, it became a grocery store, and it was my uncle Ib Blythe had a grocery store here. Junction City began about 1906. It really flourished when the two railroads crossed, thus the name Junction City. And at that time we had 5, maybe 6 grocery stores, a bank, post office, 2 Methodist and Baptist churches, and a school. And it was quite a bustling town. Had casket factory, planer mills, sawmills, and people from the country who had been on the farm began to migrate into Junction City to get a better job, and so that's how Junction City grew. Across the street was the main industry. There was the casket factory, the planer mill, the cotton gin, and 2 or 3 sawmills that took up that area over there, maybe 20 acres.
Wow.
But that was the main industrial part of the area. And
Yeah. When did it start to decline, I guess?
after the 40s, Mr. and Ms. Moore, or Mr. Moore, who came here as a telegraph operator on the Central of Georgia Railroad, he had built the community. He owned all of the industrial area and about 10,000 acres of forest land, peach orchards, and farms. But after he got killed, in a car wreck, he and his wife both were killed in a car wreck in 1945, I believe. Junction City declined. The family liquidated everything and sold off, and I don't know, it just, after World War II, there was the need for lumber, and planed lumber diminished, and so all of that closed. This was all steam operated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so after the diesel engines came in, that outdated this old equipment, and so that's when it, moved and changed.
Right.
I still have the whistle from the boiler though.
Oh, do
on
you?
my locomotive, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. On the Glover?
Yeah, the Glover.
That's cool. Yeah. All right. Well, we should take a look inside.
Sure.
And you were telling me a minute ago you got some history packed away in here.
Yeah,
don't you?
this is sort of a storage area for me, archives, or whatever you call it. When Lumus cotton gin industry left Columbus in 1998, they offered me their archives. So I brought a lot of their historical books, pictures, and even cotton gins and presses, wooden presses that were, dated back to 1800s, and they're stored here. That was a big pulley, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And so how long did this store operate?
This store was in operation from the 40s as a grocery store up until sometime in the 50s when Uncle Ib Blythe died. And then it became just a storage building for other people. And then eventually I got it.
Gotcha. And so it's got some of the original shelves
Yes,
you can see over there. And you were saying this is for produce in the center, right?
that's right. Right here in this area was for the potatoes and apples, oranges, whatever produce they might have. And there was, and I forgot where I put it, there was a glass shelving right up here with a Gene Talmadge sign on it.
Oh, really?
I think it's in the other building, we'll see.
And so before grocery store, it was mortuary and casket showroom.
Display room.
Yeah, gotcha. So would it have been, you said mortuary would have been like a funeral home?
It was, it
Gotcha.
was.
Okay.
Especially in this area, there was, very little undertaking. It was mostly just, when you passed, you were dressed and buried.
Right. So what is that over there?
So that's part of the old cotton gin.
Gotcha.
Mike, is the shelving from the store then?
Yeah,
And then those ledgers, are those some of them
these ledger books are from Lumus Gin Company.
all of them are?
So what would this room back here have been used for?
That's all part of some of Lumus's equipment from the Columbus facility. There's an old desk over there from way back.
But I mean, originally.
Oh, that's shelving originally from the store.
Gotcha.
Brushes over there from the Lumus gin.
Oh, that's cool.
I have some old cotton gins that I have worked on and restored and used some of this brushes and things in.
And we were talking about Lumus earlier. So Lumus was
actually started, it was in Columbus as a Clements gin company, Brown and Clements, but it became Lumus and they moved out of Columbus and right after the Civil War. And they were out in Juniper because of the labor, plentiful labor, and a lot of the cotton gin parts were wood, and so they had plentiful timber, and so they moved out to Juniper and operated there until 1898. And they moved into Columbus and then stayed in Columbus until 1998, and now they're over near Savannah. I say Lumus, and some people pronounce it Lumus, but Mrs. Lumus said, you don't say Columbus.
right.
Yeah, and I was probably at the factory. Yeah, it's Lumus, not right? It's not Lumus, is it? It's really Lumus. Yeah, okay. That's old railroad locomotive engine light.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool.
And one of the old store case, display cases. And then these are some of the patterns, wooden patterns that went to cotton gin parts that Golden Foundry would use to produce the needed steel or cast iron parts.
Wow.
That machine right there, Robert, is actually a seed cleaner. It's not a cotton gin. Cotton seed cleaner.
That's cool.
Now that press, all that press works you see laying there, wooden parts, I got a book of that at the house I'll show you with a completed press so you can see what it looked like put together.
Yeah.
If you think about a grocery store back in the day and the temperature like it is today, it was tough.
Yeah, sure enough. No refrigerators, I reckon,
That's right.
back then.
Didn't sell meat here.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mike, as someone who likes old bottles, I like seeing the old Chericola bottle right here.
Help yourself.
Old straight side Chericola from Columbus, Georgia.
I've got one or two that say Talbotton.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was a Chericola
There was.
in Talbotton. Yeah.
Yeah, and Talbotton.
Oh, in Talbotton. Yeah. Not. It could have been very big.
So I love these old country stores. And this is one, I've driven through Junction City a few times, and this is one that's always caught my eye. So really cool to be able to actually see it. And then over here, there's more old bottles. Another Chericola. You can see the glass is kind of starting to turn purple from all the sun exposure. That one's from Columbus, Georgia too. An old Coca-Cola bottle. This is a Christmas Coke, 1924, from Manchester, Georgia. That's a modern bottle there. Got my hopes up.
When they had built that house, they had maid and butler.
This one right here?
Yep.
The house was built in
The 20s.
20s.
Early 20s.
And it was built by the fellow who had that store,
C.W.
right?
Moore.
Okay. It's definitely an impressive house. And this that we're standing beside was the...
Originally it was bank, built as a bank, and then for probably 50 years it was a barber shop.
Oh, really?
Got my haircuts here many, many times. It was one style, crew cut.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you said there was another store in between the bank.
There was a huge, that was a garage like with a lift for working on cars. But between that white building and the one we were just in was a huge store, much like Walmart today. It had everything.
Wow.
From hot dogs to caskets, it didn't matter. They had
yeah.
it.
And you said that one was open until the 80s?
Up until the 80s, right. It was M.J. Hester's grocery store.
Gotcha. And
sold ice, blocks of ice. We'd buy a 25, 50-pound block of ice, or, you know, they kept cases of chicken in the ice house and fish.
Yeah. And what happened to that building?
It eventually was torn down. Mr. and Ms. Hester's passed away, and the store was closed, and it just finished. The family tore it down.
Gotcha.
Got in bad repair.
Yeah. We were just down the street, still in Junction City.
Yeah, another store in Junction City. We had 5 or 6 like this. This one built in the 20s for Mr. Kurt, K-U-R-T, Williams, Commissary. He had several sawmills that scattered about the county, and his employees, I'm sure, felt a little obligated to him. But anyway, they would shop here or do their trade, and probably had credit accounts and that type of thing. He would sell, I don't know if they ever sold any frozen meats or anything like that. It was mostly canned goods, overalls, whatever they need at that time.
Gotcha.
But not, it was not like we think of fresh market. It was not that.
Right, for sure. And so what do you use this building for?
Today, I use it just as a storage place. When I maybe tear down a building, I put lumber in it and odds and ends, little furniture that I don't need. It's just more of a junk warehouse.
How long was it a commissary?
It lasted from the 20s up until the early 50s.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this was truly a commissary that sold everything. And I know there were 2 or 3 people who waited on you. It wasn't something that you took a buggy and went down aisles and picked up what you wanted. You'd point to what you wanted and they put it on the counter for you. And I'm using it, as you can see, just as a storage place for junk. And I've torn down old buildings, and some of the lumber you see stacked up came out of some old 1835, 40 houses. Right. And just to save, and I may not use it, but somebody else might. And just hated to get rid of it. That's a cigarette case from the Hester store. It's no longer in existence, but that's what it was made for, to put cigarette. You can tell how much smoking there was going on with all those filled with different types of cigarette. And as a child, that was all candy shelves under there.
Oh, really? And no windows in the store here, if you notice. And it's a hot day in Georgia today, so I'm sure you can imagine how hot it was in there for the people who were working in there. Although, as Mike said earlier, off camera, they probably had fans blowing on them. But that's it, a little bit of a history tour here with Mr. Mike Buckner. Big shout out to Mike for joining me on this video. And a little bit of a history tour here. And it's amazing all of the history that's in a small town that's as small as Junction City is today, but what used to be here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on another adventure into history.